Hi, everybody. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey with Moodle. And so, beginning at the start, I wanted to lead you through one of the classes that I've worked with and some of the improvements and changes I've made as I've learned more and more about Moodle's capability. So, sort of the theme of this presentation is that Moodle gets better, and so do I. So the first thing I want to start with is a class that I've taught, Fluid Dynamics, which is a sophomore level engineering class that I generally teach in the summer. And I've been teaching this class for many years, and I put it online for the first time in 2015. And at that time, my knowledge of Moodle was very limited, but it was still an amazing help. Now, I went back into this area of Northwest College's website and looked for how far back I had fluids classes. So I looked and I found 21s, 18s, 17s, and then I went to 20s, 19s, and so forth. So I believe that the earliest fluid dynamics that I have is in the summer of 17. So I don't have the first couple that I did when I used this class, but I wanted to show you a little bit about what it looked like. So you can see from the beginning, I just held some information here, and I did put up cartoons. But basically, I had vodcasts, which I had done on a system at Northwest College, that wrote our videotaped lectures to the Northwest College website. When I was doing this, I was not even accepting homework through Moodle. I was still accepting homework through email and then sorting it out later on. My vodcasts, for almost all of my vodcasts, were stored on the Northwest College media site, and that meant that the students had to have access to the media site in order to be able to watch my videos. Well, what ended up happening was there were times back in the day when the site would go down. And so one of the first big improvements I made was I wrote my videos to YouTube. So I developed a great big YouTube channel, and some of the first videos I put up were for my fluid dynamics class. Then this is actually just some reference material about my YouTube page. You can see that my tagline is the engineering diva, that I've put up, 1,400 videos, and that I have 82 subscribers. Or excuse me, not 1,400 videos. I'm sorry, that I have 14,000, almost 15,000 views on my videos, and I have 82 subscribers. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos for all of my classes, plus some of my graduate work, and plus just some other random things that I find to be interesting. So some of the genesis of this project then, of learning to work with Moodle, is that Moodle has gotten better, but thank goodness so have I. So over the process of working through Moodle, I've learned a lot of things about what Moodle is capable of doing. So I'd like to fast forward from this earlier website up to my fluid dynamics class that I'm teaching right now. So you'll see that some of the features of the class still look the same. I still use it as a repository. I still use almost all the same lame jokes that I used back in the day. But now I have almost all of my lectures are on YouTube. What that does is it allows me to have them off-site so that students can access them much more easily than they did before. The other thing is I have all of my homeworks submitted through Moodle so that they're always in one place. For example, this was the first homework assignment of this semester, and you can see I had 8 participants, 8 submissions, and 0 need grading, meaning that everything is graded. But I can tell when students submit, and I can get a record of all of their work, and I never have to worry about losing a piece of paper on my desk. I used to have a different submission button for late homework, but I've discontinued that, at least during COVID, just because I want to give students a break and I give them full credit right now, even if they submit a little bit late. But that's not really related to Moodle. It's just related to COVID. The other thing that I've done is I've standardized all of my classes at between 8 and 10 homework assignments, 2 timed but not proctored quizzes, and then 2 exams, a midterm and a final, which are proctored. I proctor them online. So the quizzes, they get their material for the quiz on the Moodle page, and then they submit it through the Moodle page, just like homework. The midterm and the final exam, I give students several different times that they can choose to take their exam, and then everybody takes it through the same Zoom link. So in other words, what that means is, here's my final exam time options for the spring, and I have some times on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday when my students can take the exam, and then they just click on the Zoom link and I will be there. So in other words, I'm proctoring students who are in different classes at the same time. The other thing that students can't see, but that I can see, and I'll show you what this looks different here. If you take a look at the final exam, for example, down here, you'll see in light gray, which means that it's hidden from students, that I have some exams. For example, right here, I have a new final exam with the answer key and the new final exam for this spring. Now, when they're grade like this and it says it's hidden from students, that means I can see it, that they can't. So one thing that I find that I can do is, if you want to see what it looks like for students, I can switch my role from the teacher to a student view, and then I can double check what my students see. So if I go down here to the finals section, make sure there's nothing here that's going to provoke them to try to get at something they're not allowed to be at, but you can see that it's just completely invisible to them. The other thing that I have done, I fully set up my gradebook. The gradebook is a little bit difficult for me to set up because I use weighted averages. The homeworks are worth a total of 10%, the quizzes are worth a total of 10%, the midterm exam is worth 40%, and the final exam is worth 40% of their final grade. So basically I had to set up a weighted mean of a whole bunch of different things. So here, for example, the quizzes, that you get a simple weighted mean of those 2 grades. There's only 2 of them. The midterm exam is a single grade, the final exam is a single grade, and then the homework is a single grade. But the relative weights of those are different. So it took me quite a number of years to get that set up, but I'm happy to say that this year I think I have it pretty much exactly the way I'd like it to be. So when I was finishing this project, I wrote the end as my final slide, but then I thought, well, maybe it's not, because as Moodle gets better and I get more comfortable using it and using the abilities that Moodle has to help me manage my classroom, I hope to continue to do more. It's a great learning system. It's open source, so you can kind of customize it how you want it, and I think that it's not bounded by anything but my knowledge and my ability to work with it. Have a wonderful day, everybody.